You let me know when, oh, we're on. Hey, guys. Can everybody hear me okay? Am I too loud? Am I too soft? Can you see me? I don't know how to, oh, there's the chat. Okay, hide that notification and pull up the chat. There we go. Hi, everybody. Not going to us or out there, I'm wondering now. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Okay. You hear and see us. Are you on the channel?
Yeah, I just popped out the chat so I can keep an eye on it too.
Gotcha. I'm not, did that go into the chat that's in the room or no?
No, that chat doesn't. You're gonna have to look at the chat on your channel.
Okay, well, let's do that then. We're gonna pop that out.
I probably should have mentioned that. Sorry.
It's okay, no problem. I know what you're up to. Oh, wow, okay. Let's see. No, I gotta mute this. You guys can see and hear us, which is good to know. Let me pop this chat out now. Do. I'll figure it out, guys. I'm so sorry. Dogs, be quiet, please. How do I pop the chat out?
Okay, the three dots.
I found it. Yay. Now I just have to click on it. There we go. I popped the chat right out. We can show JB Jupiter. Hey, everybody. I can see you. Thank God. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Timey's pool party. Justin Mello, JB Jupiter, Foul Fish, Tis Lisa Sings, Undead Otter, Gage. I think I got everybody. Look at me. I'm on a roll now. Remember that for later when I don't get everybody, okay? You can say I did. Now, let's see. If my dogs would shut up, that would be great. That's Roxy and Tucker in the background. Hi, Chandra. Oh, by the way, duh. Hang on. Oh, my Lord. Everything popped up here because I had rebooted it when I rebooted the laptop. So I have 50 million screens here in my way now. Good Lord. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay. I think I am I back? Uh-oh. What'd I do? Everybody there still? Didn't lose anybody, right? I found you, Jay. Yay. Okay. This is Jay Lippman, everyone. If you do not know him, he is a YouTuber who his channel is all about, well, you tell him, Jay. What is your channel all about?
Okay.
I put you right on the spot there. Don't worry.
I know a lot of you. I don't know all of you, though. So I think just JB Jupiter is the only one. And Foul Fish, I have not met you before. But the rest of you, hello. But I am Jay Lippman. I'm a daily vlogger. My vlogs are basically just about my day, but I always try and tie in some kind of life lesson or some kind of tool that I've used. I've been through a lot in my life and come through a lot of struggles, and I like to share the tools that I used in order to do that. So that's what I do. 5 days a week, it's a vlog. 1 day a week, it's a live stream. And another day of the week, it's a Q&A show. So, yeah.
Thank you. He's really good at it, too. I have to say. I turn to his channel quite often because I love the approach he has with things, and that it's not about opinions, it's about experience and what you've gone through yourself, which is really cool. Hey, Ace Films. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Annette, the lunch lady. So today we're not talking about your channel, though, are we?
Not at all. We're talking about my second passion.
You know, it's been a cloudy day all day. And when I move, it's going away again, thank God. When I move to the other side, you can't see me at all. So, like, where we're at. And now when I get blinded, I'll just have to get blinded. And it's just going to have to be what it is. By the way, there should be a Nightbot in our chat. And I don't know how to make them start. Anybody else know how to make them start? Any of my mods know how to make them start? Because I think there's something I have to do to get them to start, right? Like, wait, let's see if this is it. Nightbot, wake up. I just put the wrong thing on it afterwards, actually. Hang on. I talk to them for a moment, Jay, while I sort this out.
I would be happy to do that. So,
there
there's
he is.
Nightbot. Okay, back to the host. Back to the host.
Sorry, Nightbot has arrived.
Here to help. Glad I could help.
Oh, thank Lordy. Okay, so yeah, we have in the chat, you can now see Jay's channel if you want to go check him out. I highly encourage you to. And, you know, while you're there, learn a little bit about his life experience and how it can help your life experience, and maybe consider, I don't know, hitting that little button and the bell that goes ding, 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 ding. So, Jay, what are we here to talk about today then? Because I know, you know.
Yeah, we're here to talk about music.
Yes, we are.
Like I said, my second passion.
As we all know,
third.
I love music.
Third, I guess first is being a dad, and second is, you know, I mean, it's being a dad, creating art, and helping people. That's my whole life. So
there you go. And being creative includes music, right?
Absolutely, 100%. I've been singing since I could talk. And when I was 11, I picked up my first guitar. Shortly after that, I picked up the drums. And along the way, I also picked up bass and piano.
Wow. Anything you don't do, because that might be a shorter list, right?
I can't do anything. I can't do brass. I did play clarinet for a little while, but I can't play brass. Like I can't do trumpet. I just can't get the lip and the cheeks.
Okay.
I just can't. I can't do it. So,
but you do everything else.
Yeah, I can't do anything with the bow either.
Okay.
Tried that for about 2.5 seconds. It didn't work. So.
It didn't work. I'm sorry. Now we know you started. Was your family musical?
Yeah. My dad was a guitar player right up until, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, I think, is when he had to finally stop playing. He ended up having brain surgery, and he's just not able to play anymore. But he was a very, very good guitar player. Some of my earliest memories of music are Friday nights, you know, at my dad's house, sitting in the living room. My dad would be singing us songs with his guitar, you know, and
I know that memory.
Yeah.
I have it. Puff the Magic Dragon was a common one.
Yes.
In my house.
Every Friday. Puff the Magic Dragon every Friday. That and what was it? This Land? Yeah.
Okay.
This land is your land. This land is mine. That one.
I have a vague memory. I might have that one too.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have the same dad and we don't know it?
That would be so weird.
I mean, I know who my dad is, but it's not my life. I haven't heard I had any brothers other than my brother. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't think so, but
yeah.
Is your dad's first name Tom?
No, it is not.
Okay, we're good.
No, it is not. In
We're
fact,
safe.
I don't think I have any Toms in my family.
A lot of people don't. Tom's not really all that common.
Not
I have
anymore.
a cat named Tom.
Hey, Skinny G Panda. What's going on?
Hey,
Man?
Skinny G. Hey, happy trails. This life of ours, nature bound. Wow. You guys are popping.
Oh my
I have
God.
to let my dog in. So for 2 seconds, you got to entertain everybody, okay?
True. I'll finish telling him about my musical family. How about that?
Good idea. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. So yeah, dad played guitar. Actually, funny story about that. He used to, for any other guitar players in here, he used to play a 12-string Fender electric guitar. And I found out about this like right after I started playing. And in that same conversation, he told me that he had sold it, which was very disappointing. I mean, he sold it years before I was even born, but still, that was so disappointing. So there's that. My mom played flute. So, yeah, my mom played flute, but my mom was actually more of a visual artist. She did a lot of drawing. I actually, in my kids' room, there are 2 drawings of me that she did.
Michael's here. Hey, Michael.
Michael, hello.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the pool. We are here at Timey's pool party with none other than Jay Lippman, and he's talking all about the music in his life.
Yes.
So I'm assuming as you were growing up, you were going to lessons and things like that, right? Or did you just learn on your own?
The first lessons I ever took were, I think, starting in 3rd grade. So when I was 8 is when I was informed that I was going to be playing the clarinet.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Sounds
so there
like
was that.
Went really well.
Well, I played it all the way up through 6th grade. And then in 7th grade, the band instructor in my middle school informed me that I was moving from clarinet to bass clarinet.
Oh, okay.
And totally lost. I got lost in the chat. Sorry.
I know. We can get lost together. It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I moved over to bass clarinet, and Michael Fire could tell you, like, I'm a hobbit, right? Like, I'm super short. Like
a little bit.
Like when me and Cody Warner were standing next to each other, like facing each other, I was staring somewhere in between.
Super tall, isn't he?
I was staring somewhere in between his belly button and his chest.
Oh,
like, so I'm pretty short. So like bass clarinets are basically as tall as I am. And it was but it was fun. So I did that. But when I was 11 is when I started taking guitar lessons. I took them for about 6 months.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. What happened?
I'm not sure why everything Ace is saying is being deleted by Nightbot.
That's weird.
Here, we'll fix that problem. It won't happen anymore. There you go. Sorry about that. I apologize. Nightbot got a little out of control, apparently.
Oh, I see.
Don't know why.
I do. Because he was talking in all caps.
Was he?
Yep.
But apparently. I thought I shut that off.
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay, maybe not. I don't know. You know me, I might have double clicked it, and not realized I turned it off and then back on again.
So 11 years old, I started taking guitar lessons. Okay. Those lasted for about 6 months. I wasn't doing too well in school. That was kind of like the beginning of my downward spiral. Gotcha. So my dad canceled the guitar lesson. So after 6 months, I'm completely self-taught. I'm 100% self-taught in bass, drums, and piano. So
that's awesome. You gotta love it, right, Michael? You hear that? Music for your ears. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Do you see Michael's comment?
Well, I resemble that remark, I do. I'm vertically challenged myself.
Happy trails. I am 5'4" 3/4". 5'5" if I'm wearing shoes. So.
Well, we're about the same height then, Jay.
Yeah.
You could look at my eyes evenly.
There you go.
Something that does not happen often. Can you guys hear the lawnmower going? Because that's what I was talking. There was a lawnmower in the background here. The music, we added it in today just for you, Michael.
There you go. Michael shows up. Bring on the noise. There you go.
So at that point, how did you go from that to what I understand is a career, in music there for a while?
Sort of. So I got in my first band shortly after I started playing guitar. And actually my first band, every band except for maybe one, every band that I've ever been in, I've also been in with my best friend, Dan, who I've known since the first day of first grade. So we're going on next year will be 3 decades of friendship.
I have a friend like that.
Yeah. So,
they're the best. That's all I have to say about that.
They are. So like he was a guitar player and the singer, and I was the drummer. Okay. So that kind of started that whole thing. And then when I was 14, I got shipped off to what did they call it? A behavior modification boarding school.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
No, it absolutely was not. But, you know, it is what it is. And when I was in there, that school, the school that I went to, not only was like at a therapeutic school and all that stuff, and it was one of those like fix your kid type of places.
Okay.
But it was in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. It was really well known for its performing arts program.
Oh, okay.
And
That's a nice benefit then, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. So I actually got started doing the lighting and the sound for like the on-campus shows.
Okay.
And I did that, and then shortly after that, my bank is calling me. They want money that I don't have. Ha!
I know people like that. They told me we have a lot in common, don't we?
We do. And then so the school every year did a show off campus, like off of Broadway, and I literally mean like you're going down Broadway, you turn left, and the theater is right there, you know.
Nice.
And they had done their first run of the year, and it was a huge hit. So they decided they were going to keep it going longer, but they needed understudies. And the director of the show heard me singing to myself while I was cleaning up the cafeteria one day and asked me to try out. And I did, and I got the male understudy part, which was crazy. It wasn't one understudy per character. They had one male understudy, one female understudy. I had to learn 4 guys' parts.
Oh God, that's crazy.
4 different singing styles, 4 different dancing styles. Like,
and what if they were all in a vehicle and had a minor car accident, but were unable to come at the same time? Would you play all 4 parts at the same time?
You know, I never asked.
I couldn't resist it. I mean, it popped in my head. Like, what happens if they go out and they have a few drinks and somebody, you know, I don't know, they bump a car and everyone's got like, just needs a day, you know?
Yeah. No, that would be horrible. So yeah, I did that. Came back home. Well, I went from there to 2 other different places. One was like wilderness based, and the other one was like an all boys boarding school. Wow. Finally came home halfway through my junior year of high school. And got right back into playing in rock bands, you know, with my best friend, and did that all the way up until 6 years ago, I think.
Wow, that's that close to now. I mean, you know. So when you were playing, what sort of venues did you play?
Mostly small clubs around the Baltimore, DC area. We did a couple out of town shows. We got to play actually during Biketoberfest in Daytona one year.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And we also played up in Ohio a couple times. And I think we played Ohio 3 times, twice at Ohio College, or not Ohio College, Ohio University, and one at Antioch College, which is in the middle of nowhere. It's a liberal arts college, and it was a very interesting time. But yeah, we did some out of town shows. We did book a tour at some point. The tour ended up getting canceled because the band we were supposed to go on tour with didn't get their album done in time. So yeah, it was what it was. But mostly it was Baltimore, DC, Annapolis, Virginia, Mid-Atlantic region.
Gotcha.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of small clubs. We did get to play. I don't know if anybody else is from my area, the Baltimore, DC area, but there's a club here called the 930 Club. It is like one of like the biggest small club in the DC area. And we got a chance to play that. That's like any band that comes from here. That's like their dream. Like we just want to be on the stage at 930, and we got the chance to do that. Yeah, it was fun.
Acoustic Steve has a question. And by the way, he asked me, I believe it was Acoustic Steve, he had asked me a question during our last live stream that I caught later when I rewatched it. I was showing my husband when my mother came in. And when I looked it over, Acoustic Steve was asking, did you ever play Comet Pizza? I'll let you answer first, and then remind me to answer his question from last week.
It's possible, but I don't think so. There's a lot of places we played that I don't remember the name of. So there are a lot of places we played where I just don't remember the night in general. So That was.
I never had that problem. I always remembered every single stupid thing I did while I was out. Every single thing.
Yeah.
Never had the pleasure of not remembering. One day I woke up and I didn't remember parts of the night. But as people mentioned it, the pieces started to come together in a ball of horror that ended with me literally getting up to go to the bathroom, walking down the hallway, which is straight to the bathroom, but halfway there, deciding I was going to go into the bathroom by turning and walking straight into a wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a huge lump on my head.
That's okay.
But yeah, and I was like, how did this get? Why is my head hurt me so bad?
That's okay. I tried making pancakes out of spackle one night.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, roommates didn't like me.
No, I can't imagine why. Let's see. Now, you had mentioned something to me when we were chatting just a little bit, because we made this deal, and I think that I'm going to stick with this with all of my guests, which is going to terrify me a little bit, but I have been keep stepping out of my comfort zone with my music and with everything that I'm doing, and I like stepping out of my comfort zone a little bit.
All right.
It's not a dangerous place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a little not exciting. It's not nerve-wracking. It's in between those two things. Ouch. You know what I mean? It's exciting, but it's like at the same time it makes me nervous. But the more I do things that are out of my comfort zone, the less nervous I'll be, sort of thing. You know?
Right.
So what we had talked about was that we weren't going to talk about it at all ahead of time. I wasn't going to pre-screen. I wasn't even going to find out anything ahead of time. Now, we found out a tiny bit because we were talking about something else, and we ended up a little bit here. So my question to you is, oh, wait, I'm so sorry.
Acoustic.
Hold that. Acoustic Steve, Acoustic Steve. You asked, where did my name come from? I'm going to literally drop the link to where my name came from in the comment section of this video later today, because it came from exactly, but you have to see exactly where it came from. It's an amazing scene that really, you know, and in the end, truly, my full name is Timey Wimey Girl 7. Okay, you'll understand with the video, but at the same time, for me, it also has another interpretation, because I am always losing time. That's all I can say about that. I intended today, okay, for a quick example, my intention today was to get up, get a couple things organized for here, and then take a shower and play my brand new video game that is sitting there waiting for me. It is calling me out since last night, and I never got to it. I fell asleep last night. What is it? It's Laura Croft. You know, I know someone's going to ask what is it, so I'm reading minds now. But by the time I got done with my shower, it literally was like, what, less than an hour ago. I was like, okay, forget it. I'll play later. So yeah, time gets lost for me. That's why part of where my name Timey Wimey comes from. But in reality, where I'm going to drop it is where it comes from. Hi, Mom. My mom's here, Jay. Jay, please meet my mother. Mother, please meet Jay.
Hi, Mom. All my friends' moms are mom, so
please welcome my mom, Jean, to the chat. Okay, so my question now for Jay is this. Sorry, I had my head over there. My question now for Jay is this. You had mentioned something about being in studio. So can you tell me how you got in studio and what you did in the studio and all that fun stuff?
Sure. So the last band that I was in, we got together my senior year of high school. That's the one that decided to call it quits about 6 years ago. And at one point we had a manager, and that manager had a friend who lived in Philadelphia, who had a recording studio, and she booked us time there, and we went up and we recorded. We hit it up. We had been in the studio a few times with like local producers, and there was always something off. Like they either couldn't get my voice right, they couldn't get the kick drum right. There was always something that they just couldn't get right. We walked in to this guy. He turned to my drummer. He was like, "What do you want the kick drum to sound like?" Drummer gave him some sort of weird, convoluted explanation. He was like, "Okay, I think I got it." Spent like 2 minutes in the studio, like in the recording room, and said, "Okay, try it now." And it was perfect.
Wow.
And then he looked at me and he was like, "You know, what do you want your voice to sound like?" And I handed him like 3 albums.
Okay.
I think it was like Taking Back Sunday, The Used, and I don't remember the third one. And he was like,
now. Sorry.
And he was just,
Honey, we're just going on a tour.
that's fine. So yeah, he got everything perfect. So we ended up recording 2 full-length albums and 1 like 5-song EP with him.
That's nice though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
They're out there somewhere.
The 5-song EP, I think, only exists in CD form. I believe I have about 20 of them in my possession.
Ooh, you know, that'd make a really good raffle on your channel.
It would make a great raffle on my channel.
Really would.
And I may or may not do that. Or I may let you do the raffle and I'll just take care of the inventory half, since you have the music channel.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe we'll talk about it. We got time.
Okay. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because, you know, I could pick one winner right now.
I have to find them and make sure that I actually have them first.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
And the other?
The other what?
You said you had the 5 one, but didn't you have another recording? Did I have
not on disc. I think I have some of the old, like pre-mastered stuff, like some of the really, really old stuff, maybe somewhere.
Then, I guess.
Well, so here's the thing. My band, we kind of cursed ourselves.
Oh.
So let me just explain how the band started. So obviously there was, you know, my best friend, Dan. Well, while I was away at boarding school, Dan met these 2 other guys, Martez, who was our drummer, and Reza, who was our bass player. At the time, he actually played turntables. He only started playing bass because we needed a bass player. And he's like the type of guy where like everything he touches turns to gold. Okay. So like picking up the bass was no problem for him. The first time we just got together to jam, like we weren't planning on being in a band or anything like that. We just, you know, we were fellow musicians. We wanted to jam. And the first day we ever jammed, we wrote every song that was on our first demo.
Wow.
Yeah. So like we totally clicked and we were like, okay, we just have to be in a band now. Like that's
awesome.
Yeah. So like we wrote music really fast and really well together and everything always just kind of clicked. Although I have to be honest, they hated it when I wrote songs.
Did they really?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they didn't hate it. They liked the songs. The reason why they hated it is because normally, you know, one of us would come in with their part written and the rest of us would write our parts around it.
You wrote everything, didn't you?
I wrote everything because I was the only one who could play everything. So
I got you.
So they were like, oh man, because instead of writing their part, they had to learn their part, and they'd much rather write than learn. So, but
it makes it a little easier when it's coming from your own mind, right?
Exactly. So,
and we are back. Thank God. I'm so sorry. The animals ran off with my lighter. I swear to you, it was right here, and now it's gone. And I don't know where another one is, obviously, because I just looked all through my house.
Wait, did I see Alejandro pop into this chat? I did.
No, hi, Alejandro.
Oh man. So
welcome. Hey, Budget Bushcraft and Ryan Miller. I know my Budget's here. Is Budget behaving himself? Not flirting with my mother again, is he? Gotta check that, Jay. I go back a little bit. I make sure we're all cool here.
Yep. So
I should put I should put on Nightbot. It should be say something like,
don't flirt with my mother.
Well, yeah, I should say that, but after somebody says something to my mother, like if someone speaks to my mother, that's what they say.
Yeah, that's all right. So yeah, we kind of cursed ourselves. We would record an entire album and do like the rough mixes. But by the time the album was ready to release, by the time everything was mastered,
right,
we had written an entire album's worth of new stuff. So we never put out any of the full-length albums.
No.
Yeah.
So you got them all together and everything was ready. You just never finished because you were already on to the next thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Isn't there somebody that you, like, if you have a manager, isn't that the manager's job at that point to pick it up? You've done your part. Aren't you doing your part if you continue, writing music?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, here's the thing about managers, at least in the local music scene, managers aren't managers.
Okay.
Managers are
take your money?
No, they don't even take the money necessarily. Ours didn't.
Oh, okay.
Ours didn't, but she wasn't a manager. She was a booking agent. She got us shows.
Oh, okay. I got you.
She got us shows, and that was
manager.
Right. There was no, she didn't handle any of the business side, which was unfortunate because we were, great at being in a band, horrible at the business side. We didn't make any money ever.
That happens a lot of times with creative people. That's why they get managers.
Exactly.
Because that's not the side they want. There's no interest in that end of it. You want to do your creation. You don't want to deal with the, nitties of it all.
Right. Exactly.
I'm looking to get merch here and I want to get something unique. So I've been searching, but at the same time, I just keep putting it off a little bit further because I'm just okay, then I have to figure out, they don't have what I want easily because I don't want something that's easily gotten, and I'm do I have to keep going? You know what I mean? And I'll look at it tomorrow. I'll look at it tomorrow, too many choices.
And Ryan Miller actually makes a good point. A lot of the venues, all they offer is exposure. They don't really offer, they don't pay. Yeah. We were lucky to, be based in an area where most of them did pay, not much, you got a little bit, you got a cut of the ticket money, you got a cut of the ticket money, and
that's something.
Yeah. And then hopefully you got, a cut of the door money, but it wasn't a cut of all the door money. It was if they came there, they didn't have a ticket and they said they were here to see your band.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Okay. So it was
basically your friends and that's it.
Exactly.
Because everybody else, even if they're coming to see the band, they're not going to announce it at the door. How often do you go up and go, I'm here to see the band?
Right.
You're going out, it's all. And it's not the guys at the door's business who why you're here. You're just let me in.
Some of the clubs,
do they have?
Some of the clubs were a little bit better, especially during the local shows. We opened up for a couple national acts and they never asked then. But if it was a purely local show and it was all kind of then they would, take the time and be like,
those are the shows I went to, but there was never, I guess there was cover charges sometimes, but it was $10 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you were a girl, you didn't pay because they were trying to get the guys to come in with,
Yep.
You get the girls there, the guys will follow. That's the rule. Not the other way around.
It's very, very, very true.
Yep. At least true. In the bar scene.
No, I haven't been in the bar scene in a while, but
Oh, me neither.
From what I can remember, it's true.
I was in bed for 5 years, and before that, there were a few years I wasn't going anywhere. So
Sorry, my cat's being an idiot.
It's okay. Please, I just carried you all around my house looking for a light. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, except I can't carry you around. You're on a tripod.
Oh, I have it on my laptop.
Oh my goodness.
And yes, I'm still drinking coffee because as I was doing my makeup. As soon as I got out of the shower, went to go have a sip of that coffee. I knocked it all over the counter because my hand spazzed. And then I had to clean all that up. That's how my time gets all wibbly wobbly.
Skinny G Panda is like obsessed with my cats.
Kitties!
You should see Skinny G's comments in my vlogs. It's like, where are the cat? Where are the kitties? I see the kitties.
That's awesome, Skinny G. I have only supposed to have 3 pets in total in this neighborhood.
And
they actually have that in the what do you call it? Guidelines, the neighborhood guidelines or whatever.
The homeowners association.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And I have the 2 dogs. But they're inside. You almost saw the one. She was jumping out at the laptop as I walked by her, but she wanted to step on the keys. We're not going to let her do that right now. That's super cool, though. I mean, having that history is awesome. And as far as like anybody trying to get into that sort of scene, I guess, how would they go about it? You know,
I mean, assuming the first steps of like already being, you know, in a band is assuming that stuff's all taken care of. I mean, it really, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than it was when I was first starting out. Okay. Because when I was first starting out, there was no MySpace, there was no Facebook, there was no Snapchat, there was no Instagram, there was none of that. There was no YouTube.
And there are, true. And there's people now that on YouTube, like On Song International they are looking for people to go over and audition for them. And they sounds like they're managing. Like if you go and they accept you, they'll manage you basically.
Right.
You know, and so there's places like that on YouTube too now. So I hadn't even thought, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is it's all
very true, Ryan. It was word of mouth back in the day.
It was all word of mouth. It was all hitting the pavement. Like if you were lucky, people liked you enough to maybe join your street team, and they would pass out they would sell tickets and pass out flyers on your behalf. We had like a 3-person street team that never did anything. They just wanted they just wanted the notoriety.
That's crazy. So they were just lazy street gang.
Yeah, basically it is. You know, it is what it is. You always get that, but it's you know, it was all word of mouth back then. And you know, I'm just gonna switch brains here real quick. I'm gonna switch brains into my marketing brain.
Go for it.
Everything is still word of mouth. Everything is still word of mouth. It's just the word of mouth has gone from like in person to the internet.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Twitter.
Right. Twitter, Facebook, it's all word of mouth. It's just electronic word of mouth. Like it's still the same, you know, it's still the same thing, but like I would suggest if you're trying to like start out, you're trying to get known, you're trying to get your name out there, SoundCloud. SoundCloud. You know, it's harder for rock bands or any kind of groups that need to record multiple instruments because it takes longer. You know, it takes longer. I don't know if anybody else here is a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, but he talks to a lot of hip hop artists, and he just like, you should be pumping out songs every day. And it's a little bit easier for them sometimes because there's not always instruments. But you know, create. Same thing with YouTube. Create as often as you can. Put it out there. Don't worry about whether it's good or not, because ultimately the people who hear it are the ones who are going to decide whether it's good or not. You know? So just put yourself out there.
Obsess?
Exactly. Don't obsess.
Like, don't record the same song
4 times. Yeah.
6 times really, but only keep 4 and then compare each part of the song to see how it does and critique each one individually.
And then ask somebody else for their critique.
Yes. But you know, I do have to say, in my defense, I don't do that with every song, but if it's an Adele song, hell yeah. Because when I put music out like Adele, when I do covers of people like Adele, there are some very huge fans out there that if you are not up to snuff, they are going to tear you to shreds, and not in a nice way.
Right.
And I also feel like out of respect for the artist, people that sing songs that are more difficult to sing and things like that, I have such respect for them. Like Aretha Franklin, the minute I heard that she passed, I had to sing a song of hers because it's out of respect, and I had to make sure it was good, you know?
Yep.
Because otherwise it's not really honoring them, is it? You know what I mean?
Not at all.
And
I think we did very few. Oh, I think the dog wants to come in.
That's Checker. He's in already. He's somebody I think is out there. I don't know who. They're going to be fine.
Got it. Yeah. Why did where was I? Right. Okay. Find it. Always find the highway again. Yeah. So
I've been trying to light this cigarette again.
Yeah.
And I've gone through like 6 of them. They keep breaking. Sorry.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Miller, you're right. Just produce as much content as you possibly can and get it out there, you know? That's what it is. Now, there's a balance to that though. Like I do want to talk about that because like yes, you should be getting stuff out there, but I've always like lived, well, not always, but I try to live by the idea that it's easier to learn how to do good work faster than it is to learn how to do fast work better. So like take the time to learn your craft and then learn how to do that craft faster once you figured out how to do it well. You know, but once you know how to do it well and you figure out how to do it faster, then go fast.
Sorry.
So
Okay.
But
you want to go behind? Okay. Sorry. Linnea's here. She's home from work. Everyone say hi to Linnea. She's gonna go behind the barbecue.
Oh.
I just told you guys where you're sitting. Okay.
Well, yeah, you told me not to tell anybody that I was on the barbecue. And then look at that.
My mouth is open sometimes like that, you know. Oh, by the way, sweetie, if you see a lighter, can you please bring it to me? Because I searched and I can't find one. Yeah. Yes, please. Because I looked all over. I brought everybody with me and I still didn't find one. I have matches that aren't working very well because it's too humid. Sorry. I just interrupted you like completely.
Oh, no, that's okay because I totally forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I'm reading the chat and I was
going to say, are there any questions in the chat?
I'm not seeing, maybe I'm seeing questions. Hold on. I don't think I'm seeing any questions. I'm seeing a lot of comments, like, or not a lot, but a couple comments about people who just like Skinny G says he'll only sing in the shower. He's too afraid to put stuff out there. But honestly, I want to know about Happy Trails Hiking, who got paid to be a musician. You should have her on the show.
Happy Trails is next. Not next, but Happy Trails, please tweet me. Like, send me a DM in Twitter. We need to talk. For sure.
Yeah,
I have a couple months actually booked already. I'm like, maybe I should have done this more than once a month. Because it seems like people are really interested in coming on and talking, and I like it. I love it. Thank you, by the way, very much so.
No problem. Really, I love talking music. I absolutely look. I even have. I don't know if you can see it. It says "Music Saves Lives."
Saves lives. I see that.
Yeah. Which is something I wholeheartedly believe. So, yeah.
Hey, Karen. Hey, BK42. Welcome. Does anybody at all have any questions for us? Go on, Jay. Sorry, I want to throw that out to the people who described.
Yeah. I mean, just if you do have talent or you think you have talent, but you're too afraid to find out if other people think you have talent.
Nightbot is giving time out. Why?
Who's Nightbot timing out?
Oh, the caps. Dang it, the cap thing is on. You know, let me see if I can get in there and change that while we keep talking, Jay. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to fix this problem right now.
Hello, Karen Summers is in. Hello, Karen.
I saw that she was in a meeting. Did the meeting go well, Karen? Sorry.
What was I saying? So yeah, I mean, if you have talent, or even if you don't know if you have talent, but you have a passion for it and you want to put it out there, like it's so easy to just sit here and be like, just do it. Like I honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't like it when people are like, just do it, just start. Because I understand that struggle. Like I understand the whole, like it's tough to get over that mental hurdle. Like it's a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot harder than what like all the people who say just start. It's a lot harder in your head than than they make it seem, if that makes any sense.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. I had stage fright. I sang in the choir, so I was able to be in a group of people when I sang, so you couldn't really pick out my voice. And when I was in the choir, of course, the choir leader was like, lower your voice. Because I would just sing then, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll quiet down. And then for a while, I thought I had to be quiet, and then years went by. I sang when I was working, and people would hear me and tell me, you should sing. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then I worked in a bar/restaurant that in the bar, they had live music. And they convinced me to get up there. And I got up and I did a duet. And it was a duet that the girl part was soprano. And I was not a soprano. And it threw me off so bad. And I was mortified and embarrassed in front of the 4 regular drunks that came in. And I didn't do it again. And then a friend heard me at a party, because we always had these parties as the kids were growing up. We'd have like sleepovers for the kids, and the grown-ups would come, and we would all hang out, and everybody was within walking distance. We're going to answer Acoustic Steve's question in 2 seconds, because I just saw it pop up, and I don't want to forget it.
I saw it too.
And we, my friend heard me, and then she tricked me literally into going out to a karaoke bar and put me in and had me drink a bunch of shots before they called my name. So I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And I got up and I sang Hotel California. And that was the beginning of the end for me.
Yeah. I mean, I was terrified my first show. I was absolutely terrified the first time I ever played in front of, anytime I ever did something new in front of people. Right. Like I was, so like the first time, because I had played like the first time I ever played clarinet in front of people, like even though I was surrounded by the whole school band, I was still terrified, because like what if my reed cracked and I was just this squeaky mess,
But nobody would know because you were in the crowd.
Right. But it absolutely happened. But see, the people next to me would know.
Right.
Those people I had to see every day. Yeah,
that's true. True, but reeds crack, but we're adults now looking back on a kid, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. I do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, I was terrified then. I was terrified when I was in that boarding school. I took a class. One of my like social studies classes was on the 60s. Like it was a whole semester on the 60s.
Okay.
And part of our final project was to do something relating to the 60s, and mine was to write and perform a song solo, just me and acoustic guitar and singing, and I was absolutely terrified. The headmaster of the school was like right in front of me when I was performing. It was terrifying, but everybody loved it, and that was cool. And then the first time I played with the band, do you know how long it took me to actually move around on stage when I was with the band? Like if you're in a rock band, you're supposed to be moving around. I was just like shrunken, like, and it took me forever to be able to move around.
Cord was my security blanket. Hey, Crip 6, welcome. Rachel Rawson. Oh, do we have to do it or what? Are you ready?
Oh, Slugface?
Slugface! We have to do it. Rachel's here.
Have to.
I would just hold the mic. I would hold the mic cord, and then they went wireless on me. And I was like, what am I going to do now? So I was right back to this. And what I ended up doing was I'd wear pants that had hoops on the waist, and I would hold on to the hoop on the waist while I sang, or pockets were wonderful too. And I found these little tricks that just made me feel more secure, and I did them.
Let me tell you, like, when I first started in the band, like I said, I would get up on stage and I would just hold the mic and like sing a little bit, and it was bad. It was horrible. I saw some tapes from those old shows, and I was like,
do you have so
bad? No, I don't. And even if I did, I don't have a VCR.
Yeah, but we know people that do. You know what I'm saying? We can make that happen. Get that up on your channel. That'd be awesome.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know if I can hunt down the person who has those tapes. I'm sure I could. But I mean, there are actually some on YouTube, but not from back then. See, the ones that are on YouTube are actually from more recent days. But like by the time the band called it quits, every show I was like jumping off of drum risers and swinging the mic around. And I was like a crazy person on stage.
Oh my God, I have to see that.
And it was just like, and the only way I got from like point A to point B was by putting myself out there and doing one thing that I was uncomfortable with, like one new thing that I was uncomfortable with. Every time I picked up the guitar or picked up the microphone, it's the same thing as when I do these vlogs, you know, which have nothing to do with music, but like, especially this week, like every time I pick up the camera, or every time I sit down to edit, I try and do one thing that I hadn't done before, and try, you know, and that's the only way that's the only way you can progress in any part of your life. But like, even especially with music, you know, you have to push yourself. You got to find your limits, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Anonymous. I know exactly what you mean. It extends over to other things in life, you know. That's why, for me, at least, I feel like music has defined my life. Every single moment of my life, there's been some music that accompanies it. There's something that when you look back in your memories, that the music comes to your mind also, whether it's musical or not, you know what I mean? And I always find that it extends outward, you know?
Absolutely. Acoustic Steve had asked a question. Remember?
Acoustic Steve.
I don't think we did that.
Okay, go back.
I'm looking for it. There's a lot of chat.
I know. It's wonderful, guys. Hey, The Real Dolphin.
This is epic.
We are missing, and guys, I wanted to remind everybody, please use the @ symbol prior to my name if you're looking to get my attention. I noticed that in the last chat, there weren't a whole lot of that being done. And when it's not done, I don't get to actually, things get lost in the stream because it's so busy, which is great.
It's hard to keep track.
I love it.
It's great that it's hard to keep track, but it's hard to keep track. Okay, Acoustic Steve-O. Have you ever sold a song or had any music placements? If not, do you hope to someday? And if so, what are you doing to make that happen? We never sold a song. We never had any music placements. Wait. Sort of a music placement. The local 7-Eleven by where we all lived used to play our CD all the time, like all day long.
Awesome.
But like, no, we never got paid for anything except playing live shows, you know. And you know, that honestly, other than picking up my guitar every now and then and playing for my kid and occasionally writing a new song, I'm more focused on video stuff. Like when I picked up a camera and like made my first video, it was the same feeling that I got when I wrote my first song, you know. And you know, my two passions in life are helping people and making art. YouTube's where I can do both of those things at the same time. So I'm like 100% focused on video right now.
Hey, Stacey Morgan. Thank you, Ace.
So
I know what you mean. I started my first project, 365, wasn't my videos. It was I took pictures.
Right.
something I could have done from bed. I did it. I couldn't get up. I was too sick, you know. So when I was having bad days, I literally just took pictures from bed. I took pictures of my cat and I took pictures of the wall. But just like with this, I definitely, especially if you look at my most recent song that I put out yesterday, the Someone Like You.
Yes.
Did you watch the end? There is a link to the old version of it.
I haven't seen it yet because when you put it out, I have a 40.
It's fine.
Well, yeah. I was out getting the kid and all that stuff. So
it's fine. Don't ever, anyone, none of you, please feel when I ask that question. I never mean, did you watch it?
No. But the thing is,
everyone has life.
I'm not. Okay. Switching gears again real quick. I know we only got like 4 minutes left. Me especially, because I got to go get the kid.
Yeah, I know.
But I have this was passed down to me by a mentor of mine, not music related. Although he did used to dance for New York City Ballet, and he's a ballet instructor now. But he used to say, if you tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't do it, it's not flaking, it's lying. And so like when I tell somebody I'm going to do something, like even though you don't expect it, that's me making a promise. So I am going to watch it, even though you don't expect it. So
I guess I'm saying is, if I ask, have you watched it yet? I'm not trying to make people obligated to watch.
Right. No, I understand.
You know, I'm only asking because I want to make sure that people do know that at the very end, the link is to 8 months ago when I sang the exact same song.
Oh, wow.
And I probably should not do that because it's not very good at all. But you can see the difference. Doing something every single day, even if you're not very good at it, absolutely improves. I mean, that's a hard song. And I did my best back then, but my best was not what I wanted it to be. And I'm much happier with this version than I was with that one. You know?
And that's good. That's the way it should be, I think.
Growth.
So
you know?
Exactly.
Before you head off, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Will you be joining us in 2 weeks for the jam?
It's on a Saturday, correct?
No, it's same time. It's Thursday.
Same time, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a definite, I'm going to say 98.5% yes. Providing I'm not stuck at home with a sick kid or something else weird happens, I will be there. So
that is absolutely awesome. Now we definitely have to figure out exactly how we're going to make all this happen, but it is going to happen.
Yes.
2 weeks, 3 o'clock, right here. We will have a jam at Timey's pool party.
That's awesome.
I want to thank you again for coming. You are amazing. Every single day when you put out your videos, and no, I don't watch every single one because I try, but I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I absolutely, because I can't. It's impossible. You see what happens with my time; it runs away on me.
Yeah, well, that's you know what that's the sacrifice of being a daily vlogger. You know, and I'm a daily vlogger because when I was weekly vlogging, I was getting lazy, and I was still filming, editing, and uploading in a 24-hour period. And the days when I wasn't doing that, I wasn't doing anything. So like, I was like, well, if I can do it in 24 hours, I'm just going to go daily, you know? But that's the sacrifice. If I'm going to go daily, I'm not waiting like a whole week for people to see my video.
Right.
Like, I know not all my subscribers are going to see every video, and I don't expect them to, but the fact that you pop up in the comments every now and then is fantastic.
Awesome. I mean it. I've been trying to get my husband to watch you because I think that you have some real work. He loves me dearly, but he just has this personality that, like, if I say he's got to have somebody else tell him it. Like, our floors are gorgeous, and I picked them, but he wasn't going to get them until somebody else told him that they were gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? So I think he needs to watch you because you have some amazing advice that I think he could use to learn how to relax a little bit more in life.
Oh, well, you know? Thank you. Well,
that work-life balance thing. You're really good at that. You are. You're good at trying. You're better at trying.
I'm good at trying. We'll say that. I'm really good at trying.
But no, you're better at like succeeding, I guess, more often than I am. Let's put it that way.
I mean, it's been 9 years of practice, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's been a lot longer than that for me.
Yeah, well, you know.
I know you have to go and get the kid, and I love leaving everybody wanting more. Hey, Heavy Metal Magnet, thank you so much for coming and popping in. I know you're working hard. Be safe, please. We love you.
Yes. Hi, Heavy Metal Magnet.
Anonymous Dark. Ooh, Anonymous Dark.
Can I just say one more thing before I pop off?
Of course.
Okay. For anybody who has any kind of creative something in them, whether it's music or video or even painting or drawing, whatever it is, like, it's really easy to compare yourself to other people and decide that you're not good enough. And just going along with, like, the theme kind of turned into practice, you know, practice and get better. When it comes to judging yourself and judging your own work, try not to judge yourself by where you think you should be. Instead, judge yourself compared to where you started. Because if you compare yourself to where you think you should be, you're always going to be discouraged and you'll probably give up. If you go back and look at where you started, it'll give you the encouragement to keep going.
That's true. I agree with that. I don't disagree. I know, you know, too. I am my worst, you know, my harshest critic. Always. I always have been. I've had to, you can ask my mother in the chat here. Mom's in the chat, by the way, guys. You know, I've always been, I had to have that A plus, not just an A, you know. An A isn't good enough. There's got to be that plus symbol. I'm disappointed that I did not get that A plus, you know. Mm-hmm. For example, my GPA, when I went back to school, I ended up with a 3.9. I had a 3.9 because my kids had chicken pox and they passed 4 of them along to me. And I couldn't go to school for a week and I missed a huge test. And that teacher, when you made it up, made it much more difficult, you know.
Of course.
And I got a 60 on it. 60. And I was like, I got a 60. And the girl next to me turned around and went, don't you dare complain. I got a 20. It's like, okay. But it got me my 3.9 instead of my 4.0, you know, and it bothered the heck out of me. Now it is what it is, you know what I mean? Yep. But at the time it was like, I could have gotten it, but I had the chicken pox. It's not fair. Life's not fair, people. Life's not fair. Hey, Nikos Polski. Nikos Polski. Nice to meet you, Nikos. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I've ever seen you before, but I could be mistaken because I have memory problems, by the way. Anybody new here who does subscribe to me or to Jay, please leave a comment on one of our videos so that we can then follow up and take a look at your channel.
Yes. Yes.
You go get that kitty yours.
I am.
Give
Thank you so much.
Love. She's adorable.
Thank you so much, Timey, for having me on your show. I really appreciate
pleasure.
It.
I wish we could get in the pool right now because, as you can see, I'm melting. I am in a pool. Look, Michael, I can do it too.
At least you're
all over camera.
Look, at least your pool is open. Up here, all the pools closed like 2 weeks ago. So.
Well, yeah, because it's a little further north. I saw snow on somebody's stream today. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
Get that out of here, you know? Okay, guys. Okay. Now I know there's a few of you that are now have now gone on and are now live. Please go see Clint, guys. Stop in and say hi. Who else was live? Somebody let me know here. Please in the chat. I remember seeing somebody else was going live too, but I know Clint's live at 4 o'clock. Please go say hi to him. Could you please drop Clint's, somebody please drop Clint's, oh, Michael's going live too. So Michael, drop your link and somebody drop Clint's link and please go to one of these streams and tell them Let's see. TWG7 splashes you. When you get there, okay? So hashtag, I lost my chat. Dang it. Of course I did. Okay. Always hashtag TW. How about this? Forget that. Hashtag Timey. Smashed ya. There we go. Copy and paste it over, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. We'll be back here next week for just a chat. And let's see what else. Thank you again, Jay, very, very much. You have such an interesting history with music, and I am thrilled to have learned all about it. I appreciate you sharing. And let's see. In 2 weeks is our live jam, and the next show is all about us chit-chatting. We're just going to sit and hang. I'll figure out a theme before then. I love you too, Stacey Morgan. And the next show that we have a guest on, our next guest is Busha Studios.
Woo!
Guys, have a great day. Thank you again. Bye for now. Rock on, everybody. Rock on. I'll figure out the button to press in a second.